My sister and brother-in-law had some ash trees milled. They were swing sets and tree houses for a long time, but the ash borers got them, and they wanted each of their kids to have a project. That's Molly on the left. What she wants is a bench that actually is a chest with a lid that opens up. So we figured out what punky bits we have to leave behind and which live edge to use, and get the basic dimensions at the top. Now that is way too thick, and I don't have a way to resaw those boards down. So I decided I'm just going to have to curve cut, sharpen the old adze, start and chip away all that. It's going to become kindling for the fire. And once we got the reasonable dimension, we can go through the thickness planer for the fixed back piece and the lid that hinges up. And that's pretty close. Before we cut the ends off, make sure we've got a good joint there, run it through the joiner. And now we can get to the final dimensions at the top. Now it's time to make the frame. The legs, 2x2, and then the horizontal members will resaw one of those right in half. Get 2 for 1. Cut them to length and figure out how to get the plywood panels to go into the frame. The lower one needs to hold the bottom and then the side. And so we've got that contour there. The top one just needs to accommodate the top edge. Then we need slots in the legs to let the plywood into. A lot of ways to do it. I'm comfortable with the table saw, so start a little bit away from the bottom of the leg and cut all the way through to the top. Got our 4 legs with the slots. Time to do the plywood. Need a bottom, front, back, and 2 sides. A little bit tricky to put it together, so just glued up the side panels, and then just in one step glued all the rest of the members together and got it clamped in position. Those thin bits of ash were just too splintery to try pocket screws, so really had to rely on glue to hold the entire structure together. Came out alright. Now it's time to finish the top. Got our live edge, just clean it up just enough to leave the worm tracks, give a contour to the other 3 edges of the back and the sides, and looking pretty good. Had to plug those tops of those slots and sign it for Molly and Lex, and then on to stain. Some moderate Ipswich pine stain, and then get some initial urethane coats on the various pieces. And at that point then we could work on the hinges. Dry fit the hinges and then glue the chest onto the permanently fixed back piece. I used to glue and hot glue as clamps to put some extra strengtheners along that joint. And now we're on to second coat of urethane, and my wife helping out in the morning to get the hinges applied. Final coat on the top, and then it's a lid closer whose instructions were in Chinese and not that helpful. But figured out the basic idea, and it's pretty strong spring pneumatic just to keep the lid from smashing little kids' fingers, and then it's on to delivery.